Alright, welcome to today's video, guys. What we're gonna be doing today, it's something a little different, but I got this in the mail. I've had this for a while actually, but it's been raining every day, so I haven't gotten a chance to do it. But for those of you who don't know what this is, it's Avalon King's Armor Shield ceramic coating. I'm sure most of you by now know what ceramic coating is, but for those of you who don't, in a simple way of putting it, it's kind of like permanent wax. It's supposed to last you a couple of years, and what it does, it makes it repel dirt and water a lot better. It brings out a lot of the shine in your paint that gets lost, debris that's in your clear coat that makes your paint look more dull. This is Avalon King's DIY kit. It comes with your ceramic coat right here, and this little metal or actually ceramic bottle comes in this, and this is enough to do your whole car. And also in the package, this little applicator pad. This is what you're going to be using to put the ceramic on your car. This here microfiber that I don't want to get dirty, and some other goodies, some gloves so you don't ruin the paint. It stopped raining. It was raining earlier. You want to try and do this when it's not raining, but it's Florida, so it rains every day. I'm going to walk you guys through the process of ceramic coating this paint, and we're gonna see how it transforms it. So I'm gonna go ahead, give you guys a look at the paint right now. I washed it, but I didn't wax it or anything because you don't want any contaminants on the paint when you do this. And the first thing you wanna do when you're doing this ceramic is you need to clay bar your entire car. So when you seal it, you don't seal any of the contaminants in the clear coat. Here's the clay bar kit that I have. I've used this a couple of times. Oh! Why your rotors look like that? It's because it rained and I just washed it. This is the clay bar kit I have. It's just a mother's clay bar kit. And I've used it a couple times and it works really good. And it comes with all the stuff you need. It has the clay bar wax because you need your paint to be lubricated while you're claying it so you don't scuff it. And it comes with this nice microfiber. And this is how much clay bar I have left. It came with like twice this amount, but I've used it before. When you're claying your car, the first thing you want to do, make sure you have clean hands so you're not contaminating the clay. And you want to just knead it to get to a new area of the clay that hasn't been used before, so it doesn't have any dirt in it, so you're not just making the paint dirtier. And I can probably go ahead and break this in half. I don't need that much. You don't need a lot when you're claying. When you're claying your car, it's a really simple process. All that it requires is some patience. So you can see now, it's pretty good reflection in the paint, but what this is going to do is this clay, you run it over the surface of your paint. This clay is going to extract all the contaminants in the clear coat of your paint, and you can feel when your car needs to be clayed. If it doesn't feel like glass, or you can feel a bit of roughness in the paint, that's when you can tell your clear is getting dirty and it's time for another clay bar. So when you do it, take your lubricant. You never want to do this on dry paint. Spray a small section, doesn't have to be too much, and you're just gonna rub the clay in straight lines. You never want to do swirls because that'll leave swirls in your paint. And get every square inch of the paint. And you know a part of the paint has been clayed enough when the clay bar has no resistance whatsoever when it's gliding over the paint. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the whole car, and I'll be back when it's time to do the ceramic. This is how you know it's been clayed good enough, when the clay just slides right off and it doesn't want to stick to it anymore. Now this whole section has been done. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in person you can already tell there's a lot more depth to the paint. One of the most frequent questions I get asked about my car is what deck lid I have here, and it's literally just a black wrap that I wrapped over these two holes. And as you can see, it's starting to peel, so I think it's finally time to take this wrap off. Yeah, it's coming off easy. It hasn't been on that long. It's only been on for like 4 months or something. Oh, it's dripping. And there it is, it's off. Took about an hour and a half to get this whole car done, But I'm just finishing off the last body panel here now. This is how it should look after a good clay bar. No contamination in the paint, and the paint is smooth as glass. All right, so here it is. We're finally starting this after about 2 hours of prep. Before we start touching anything, you want to put on these gloves that they supply you with, because you really don't want to get oils mixed in your paint while you're doing the ceramics, so you don't have permanent swirls in your paint or like a rainbow in your paint from oil, because you got oily fingers and you know it. And what you're going to do is you take this sponge that they supply you with, put the microfiber over it like this, and this is going to be how you apply the ceramic onto the car, because you don't want to use the sponge directly, because the ceramic will ruin anything that you use with it after it dries. So if I used it on the sponge would be ruined. I can't use this again after I dry the car with the ceramic on it. The ceramic will harden in the cloth, and it'll have like crystalline structures in it, which will destroy your paint if you try and use it again. Let's start at an easy spot, like right over here on this window. All right, open that up, put 4 or 5 drops, as it says in the instructions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's good enough. Now we're just gonna start with long motions like this, trying to get even coverage. I'm gonna go up and down. You don't want to do swirls with this. Right, now you're gonna want to let this sit for a little bit. It says about 1 to 2 minutes. You want to let it cure onto the paint, and you'll know it's cured. It's kind of like doing Rain-X, where you see it like flash over. It'll get like rainbow colors, and then you want to go ahead, wipe it off with this. It's been about 1.5 minutes, and I can see it's starting to dry, so we're just gonna go ahead, wipe it off with this microfiber towel. You want to make sure you wipe it off evenly so you don't have spots where there's more ceramic than less. You'll be able to see like rainbow stripes like there's oil, but that looks pretty good. Okay, now once you start to see this rainbow colorization, you want to take your microfiber, just like the window over there, and you want to just ball it up like this and wipe it off smoothly. You'll know it's too soon if it's like sticky or it still feels really wet, and you'll know if it's just the right time if it rubs off real nice. But if it doesn't, that means you let it sit for too long. Depending on your weather, you gotta let it sit for a certain amount of time. It's about 80 degrees here, so I gotta let it sit for about 1.5 minutes. Gonna apply a little more of the ceramic to get this rear bumper. So before I start going over the ceramic coating, I want to give a big thank you to Avalon Kings for their customer service. They were really professional with it, and they get back to you really quick. What happened to me was the day after I originally did the ceramic coat, it rained super bad, and what actually happened was on the fenders here and on the trunk lid here, the ceramic didn't have enough time to cure and it actually washed off. Same thing with here from water splashing up on the fenders. And they went ahead and talked me through it, and they helped me recoat the parts of the car that were messed up. Even after 2 weeks right now, the paint still looks great. You can see here on the window where water did sit. It may be hard to see on camera, but there are some water spots. For a car that hasn't been washed in 2 weeks, it looks great. This is one of the main benefits you get with ceramic coating, is after driving this car to work every day for 2 weeks, this is the extent of the dirt on the paint. And you can see It's just surface level dust that comes right off. Okay, before we wash it, I'm gonna test how hydrophobic this coating is and how well it works at removing dust. I'll just try this spot right here. There's a little bit of dust on the paint. All the dust that was right here is now gone. The water picks up the dust because it doesn't give it any scratches in the clear coat for the dust to stick to. So when the water goes across it, it just picks all the dirt up. It's so satisfying actually how the water just rolls right off the paint. There's a little bit of dust right there. The water just completely gets it off. On this window too, I ceramic coated the windows as well. All right, so now that this thing is all cleaned up, it's the next day now, and I did a complete detail. You clearly see how much depth and flake is in the paint now. What I'm gonna go ahead and do now is show you guys one of the key benefits of ceramic coating your car is the hydrophobic properties that it gives your paint. What it'll actually do is it'll keep water from sticking to your paint because it's hydrophobic. So when you're driving down the road, any dirt that will stick to your car or any water that would normally stay there, it's just gonna blow off with the wind. And a good way to demonstrate just how hydrophobic this coating is with just a water bottle that's been in the fridge that has some condensation on the bottom. And that condensation should make it to where the water bottle is unable to stick to your paint. It's literally so satisfying watching this. It's been about 4 months since the last clips were filmed, and I just wanted to come in and show you guys an update on the paint here and how the ceramic coating is doing. I just washed the car off, and after a couple of months, there is still a lot of clarity in the paint. You can see there have been some updates to the car that are coming in later videos. I won't show those yet. I got the better camera out now. We're not on the GoPro right now, and I can show you the clarity that's in the paint because of the ceramic coating. Here's a good angle in this sunlight here. Before, I don't know if you could tell on camera, but the paint had sort of a flat finish to it. You couldn't really see the depth in the paint, like the different layers of colors, because on mineral gray here in most Ford colors, it's not just one solid color. There's gray as the base color and it has some gold and some flake in it. And with the ceramic making the clear coat a lot more even, it brings out a lot of that definition in the paint. So I just wanted to update you guys on how hydrophobic the ceramic still is after going through a lot of rains and weather and sitting in the heat and stuff, how it compares to how it was a couple months ago when I first coated it. So I got some regular tap water here, and it is honestly still doing pretty good. Again, the car was just washed, so it is more hydrophobic than it would be normally, but I have noticed a significant difference between washes of how long I've had to go in between.